What's good? What's up and what's good?
What's good?
Capital Bro C.
What's up and good?
Yes.
Capital Bros D. Excuse Jody for not being here. He's running late.
Yes.
I don't know if he's gonna show
Very
up.
professional from you, Jody.
Very. Anyways, today we have a special video.
It's the clearing of the throat.
Yeah. I was gonna let him talk, but anyways,
Been cut, yeah.
let me continue.
Yeah, very special video like Mr. D said.
yeah.
We're having our first collaboration in a sense, I would say. It is a collaboration. We made a video with BullRush in the past just going over the application, but now we're just sitting down with their team. This, I'm not sure what Trend, the head of social media.
Yes. We'll be sitting down with the CEO of BullRush, Trent, and the social media manager as well, David.
David, yeah.
I can't remember surnames, so
yeah.
please guys don't.
You guys will see in the video, yeah. This is just the intro?
Yeah. Join us.
Capital Bros.
Also, to you guys that's watching as well, we will be live on their channel as well, BullRush. We'll be there, sit down with them on their podcast as well. So go ahead and show your appreciation to us and watch that video.
Yeah. Indeed. So
first thing.
For the fans,
for the community.
It's mostly an African audience from our side. So just introduce yourself, and from that point on,
Yeah, no, thanks for that. Yeah, we have a big African audience inside of BullRush. I'm the CEO and founder of BullRush, which is the first ever trading competition platform in the world, and we're the only ones that have ever been 100% dedicated to just doing competitions.
What led to the creation of BullRush?
And just to top.
Yeah.
Okay, so sorry for that. And to add to Diane's question, what led and the name? It's adding on to the name. Why BullRush as the name? So it's like a top onto that question.
Yeah, so I'll answer two parts of that. The idea was something that I'd actually come up with about 4 years ago. In another business that I helped co-found, we built a lot of technology for the retail prop trading communities as well as brokerage firms. And one of those pieces of technology was the trading competition software. And what we saw was there was such a massive uptake in that, where people were getting, 20, 30, 50,000 people to join these month-long competitions. And about 4 years ago, that got me to start thinking of, hey, there's nothing out there where people pay an entry fee similar to a poker tournament to join. Why? I think it would go over just as well as like poker or any of these other e-sport tournaments that you see out there. And so that's where the idea initially came from, was, starting a platform that is dedicated 100% to competitions, similar to a poker tournament, where people pay an entry fee and then the pot is just split up and divvied up amongst the winners. So 4 years ago, had that idea. I initially took it to the lawyers on our team, and they told me, absolutely not. You can't do this unless you go get a full gambling license in the US, which is typically what lawyers do. You go to them, they tell you no initially, and then it's your job to convince them why this is doable. And so 4 years ago, took it to them. Then they told me no, so I shelved it. I had other stuff going on. I had other things I wanted to accomplish in the tech business still. And so I shelved it for the better part of a year. And then a year later, so now about 3 years ago, I picked it back up and I said, okay, well, what if I just exclude the United States and I go internationally, and I'll get set up in Curacao or Macau or Malta or one of these other jurisdictions that does supply gaming licenses, and then just exclude the United States. And so I had that idea. And then I spent about 6 months writing a white paper of everything I would want in there. So I know you guys have used the platform. Yeah, it's trading competitions, but it's a full-on gamified experience with badges, certificates, leaderboards, and so I didn't want to just build a competition platform. I wanted to gamify the entire experience of trading. And so I wrote all that out over about a 6-month period, and eventually took it back to the lawyers here in the US. I don't know what changed in the process or the timeline, but something changed in the year and a half that I had spoken with them. And they told me, hey, as long as you can go and demonstrate that trading is a game of skill and not a game of luck or chance, you can go underneath of daily fantasy sports registrations here in the US. And so that's exactly what I did. I wrote, a long paper on why and how trading is a game of skill. There's a reason why the best traders in the world make money every single year. There's a reason why the best investors make money every single year. And so I went and presented that to them. And thankfully, they accepted it enough so to go take it to local authorities and make sure that we could go operate. So that kicked off an 18-month process here in the US to get approved we ended up getting approved in 42 out of the 50 states. And then they also did it internationally where we got approved to operate in over 170 countries worldwide. And so yeah, just the idea was just something, you see like any business, you see a need for something, you see an opportunity, and then exactly. And so that's really where it came from. In terms of the name, I wish I could take credit for it. It was actually a former employee that worked. He no longer works here, but shout out to Duncan, who came up with the name. And we did a lot of research. So there's a lot that goes into a name. Yeah. And one of those things that we consider when doing a name is the Google searches. Like how much, if you go type in the name of your company into Google, does anything come up? Because who are you going to be competing against with when it comes to SEO or traffic and things like that? And so if you type in the word BullRush, literally nothing came up. The only thing that came up at the time was the plant, which is spelled BullRush. And that's it. And there was like less than like 100,000 results on Google. And so instantly it was like, all right, we love it. And then you have BullRush, which, you have the rush of trading, you have the thrill of trading, you have the bull markets, it just all tied together so perfectly. And I wish I could take credit for it. It was not me though.
It's actually funny that you mentioned like a game-like system. I wanted to know now. Could you explain to us what led to the RPG-like game system that that BullRush uses?
And just to add to what Diane said, it's very similar to what games we play. Like for example, Rocket League. It has that feel of a Rocket League game. It has the feel of an Apex, Fortnite, where you have your online currency. So yeah, what led to that? Like you said,
who's the gamer? Who's the gamer?
I used to play a lot of James Bond and Halo back in the day, but we have a lot of people on our team that are gamers. A lot. Most of our developers, gamers. Our project manager Cindy, she's an excellent gamer. She plays League of Legends and a lot of other ones. So, but the idea came because I'm a firm believer in gamification is a huge benefit to people. Every company around the world tries to gamify their offering these days, and for good reason, because it holds engagement. It keeps people wanting to come back for more. It keeps people interested in what they're doing to ultimately help learn. So their trading historically has been so boring. 20 years ago is like the worst thing ever. Is like you talk to your parents probably, and they invested by calling somebody on the phone to say, hey, I want to buy 10 shares of this stock, and they'll hold it for 20 years. They never get out of it. Exactly. Those days are long gone now, and it's more of a gamified approach.
Wall Street maybe, and got some ideas there.
Exactly. And so I wanted to take a page out of everybody's book, whether it's Fortune 500 companies in terms of how they're teaching people these days, or whether it's any other app in the world where you provide these gamified experiences. It helps people engage, and then ultimately it benefits people in the long run, especially with the BullRush, because trading is very challenging. I was talking to somebody last night, and it's like, the stats are all out there. Most people lose money. 90 to 95% of people lose money. And so we wanted to build something where you can come try out trading before you ever invest $1, ever invest anything. And so you don't go drop $5,000 or $10,000 on a brokerage account or a prop challenge just to blow it. And you're like, well, shoot, I didn't learn anything. So we're here now. You can come join all these free competitions. It's gamified, so it keeps your interest. It keeps you wanting to come back for more. And then the other side of things are, I think, with it being cash rewards, that it's much better than just a straight demo account. So like demo accounts are, serve their purpose, but a lot of people don't treat them the way that they should because there's no incentive to do well. If you are just by yourself in your room and you're just trading a demo account, there's no real money on the line. You can't win anything if you do well. You're not competing against anybody, so there's no pride or ego on the line, and you tend to just mess around with it. Where now, if you go into like the BullRush system, you join a free competition with your buddies and you guys are in there competing against each other. Even if there's nothing on the line, your egos are still on the line. You still want to do better than your buddies, so you're not in there just messing around.
The ranking system is there, which is bragging rights at the end of the day.
So I'm a firm believer in gamification. And then a lot of the ideas with like the badges and stuff, a lot of that came from a lot of our developers and people that play video games in our system.
Okay. Also, a lot of our viewers are new to trading or still relatively fresh to trading. What would you say to them? What would you say to our traders who might find your platform daunting? Like coming onto your platform and seeing all these tournament tags and all those other setups. They might find it daunting because this might be the first time they ever see a trading platform or a trading competition platform. So like, what would you say to ease them?
That's a great question. So two things. One, I would say hold tight. We're getting ready to put a how-to guide inside of there. So we moved from HubSpot to Intercom specifically because Intercom has the little tutorials when somebody's brand new and they click on it, it'll have a little walkthrough of our platform. So one, hold tight. That's going to get launched out here in a couple weeks. But more importantly, that's the reason why we have the practice arena or the free competition. So we see a lot of new traders just go join the practice arena, which is a big button right on the homepage. And you can go join. There's no rewards. There's nothing. It's literally to go in and test how the platform works, test various strategies, make sure you know how to take profits and stop losses, make sure that you can see what products are available. And so we see a lot of people starting there, and it's literally a demo account. But you'll still see like rankings and stuff, but there's nothing on the line for it. And so I would say highly recommend you to start in the practice arena and get a feel for it. We also have a lot of education. I'd make sure join our Discord channel and things like that. Our support team is awesome. They'll answer any questions about trading. We don't do we won't tell you how to trade, but we'll tell you, hey, this is how the platform works. If you have questions about the trading platform or our leaderboard or any of that, we have a great team that goes and supports people to get up and running. But one of the best things is about our stuff is there's so much free stuff in there. You don't have to pay for anything. You literally just go join, and hey, if you blow it up or something doesn't go right, great. You can go do another one. You're just not going to get ranked well in the leaderboard, but no harm, no foul. It's not like you went and bought a prop challenge or a brokerage account and spent $5,000 and blew it up.
To our viewers, I can confirm that.
I think you answered this in our last meeting we had. Usually when you with interviews, they ask you, where do you see yourself, you personally? So where do you see BullRush, for example? You said towards the end of the year I have 100,000 active users, but at least for the next 2 years, where do you see BullRush being? Like you said, you're going in there, not keeping to trading, maybe going on less on the Premier League and stuff. So where do you see BullRush, for example, in the next 2 to 5 years?
Yeah, certainly. So our goal right now is we are focused on participation and user growth. And so everything that we do is derived around, hey, how can we get more users into the platform, and how do we keep people engaged and actually wanting to participate? And so we're constantly looking for user feedback. We always put out surveys and polls, and we ask you guys, people like you, questions all the time of like, hey, what do you like? What don't you like? What would you change? Because we really do believe this is a big community, and that's ultimately what has made some of the best companies in the world and some of the biggest ones. In our space, TradingView is a good example of that. TradingView, I was around when they were launching in 2012, 2013. I remember talking to their CEO in 2014, way back in the day when he was just trying to get this off the ground. And, they heavily relied on user feedback and engagement to drive what products they ultimately built inside the system. And so that's something we're really focused on. will always be focused on it, but even more so right now. And then, yeah, as you mentioned, our goal is to not just be a trading competition platform, but to be a competition platform for everything.
Yeah.
It just so happens we started in trading because that's what I know, and that's the industry that I come from. But the next one that we're going to go into is it'll roll out here in May. Is we're going to go into fantasy sports betting, which is going to be really cool. Where it's tournaments based on sports betting, and so just like in our system, you're not trading real money. In that, you're not betting real money, but you can go join tournaments with your buddies. And when you're at the pub and you're like, okay, everybody's gonna kick in $5, and we're gonna see who the best football better is these days.
Yeah.
And then for that day, you're just sitting there betting against your buddies in a virtual environment, and then one of you is going to take home the $5. And then our platform is just designated to facilitate all that, from the odds, from all of those things. And so that's where we see ourselves. Those will be the two main areas we go into for the time being. Eventually, I think we'll go into esports. You mentioned like Rocket Leagues and stuff. Like there's already stuff out there like that in esports. So we'll eventually look to go into that area. But
Z League is like compared to like what BullRush is doing, but that's now on the esports side of things.
Yeah. So this concept, again, the concept of competition platforms is out there. It's just not out there in trading. It's not out there in sports betting and things like that. So that's what we're looking to bring to market.
All right. Okay, this will be my final question for you today. In terms, this is again for our starting traders who come to your platform. In terms of security wise, how can you secure? Let me not say it like that. Let me rephrase like this. How safe is their security?
Data, like you said, when you go into
how secure is their data? How secure is your cyber security?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's very secure. Security was the top focus of our platform. So when we were initially building it, that was exactly what we had in mind when we were initially building it. And initially, if you would have joined back in July during our beta, you were actually forced to go through two-factor authentication and set it up before you could even register for the platform. And so we put 2FA, and then going back to user feedback, users hated that. So as secure as you make stuff, end users will tell you like, no, I want to make it a little less secure because it's prohibiting me from utilizing it. And so what we ended up doing was we moved that as an optional feature, where now you can set up 2FA on your account, which we highly encourage. If you just go to your settings tab, and then that way nobody can ever log into your account unless they have the 2FA on your Google Authenticator or your Microsoft app. And so that's installed, and that's not only installed on the front end, it's also installed on our back end admin portal. And then we also have a very secure admin portal where it's all user permission based, where support reps only have a certain level of permissions, where they can't see like customer data and stuff like that. They just get enough to answer questions. Then you have managers that have a little bit more. Then you have owners that have a little bit more. But security is of our utmost importance.
Again, thank you for joining us. BullRush, thank you for joining us.
I am not Mr. BullRush, if you're wondering though. If you go into Discord, Davin is actually Mr. BullRush. He claimed that name.
As you heard, he is Mr. BullRush. From now on,
I'm just the lonely CEO over here.
Silent flex.
Nice.
Awesome. We're gonna call it there. Our camera's about to die as well.
All right. Well, yeah. Thanks again for having me on. I look forward to it, and look forward to having you guys on the show tomorrow with Davin.
Awesome.
Thanks so much again.
We'll be seeing you today.
All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.